What is happening, traders? Welcome back to another stream. We are just getting into a few things, just starting up my morning right now. So, I should probably change the camera angle, whatever. But we're just going to talk about the numbers today and really just try to get a good grasp on what the numbers actually look like. What are the losses that I'm taking? What are the wins that I'm taking? What are just how the percentages add up, because the percentages at the end of the day are going to be a lot more important information and useful information when it comes to trading than the actual dollar amount. We brought this account up from about 8,000, high 8,000s, 9,000, something like that. This was a trade I took yesterday, and we're going to just touch on some other little things, just get an update on what the Discord is doing, how that's been looking for the past little few days. Do I have Discord here? It's not open yet. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about this trade because we're in this. And we basically have this trade that we took yesterday. The stop loss was here, but I accidentally added another position to this on this netting account, so it averaged the entry and places there. But we'll take a look at the Discord and it will show exactly the trade setup that was taken. But welcome to the stream and let's go through. Excuse me if I take my time a little. I just woke up, had to make myself coffee and just see where we are. A big reason why I did want to get this done today and not yesterday or not the day before that on Monday was just because today is April 1st and I wanted to get the month results finalized. Wait a second. There we go. Yeah, just want to get the main results finalized for this month, which we'll be able to see over in this here. Let me get this right. Just a second. I think that should be fine. But these are the results that we're going to touch into. This is not the current time, so this is from yesterday. So we should be able to just update this, get an update for where we currently are. Or, okay, it's updated on the last trade activity, because these are all finalized results. None of these results here are unrealized, put it that way. So this page gets updated once that's updated. That was written yesterday around 12. So we can take a look at the Discord and just be able to see what these numbers actually look like, why they might look like what they look like, and stuff like that. So this is something new that I'm putting into effect over on the public Discord. The trades alerts that I'm taking, all these trades that I'm taking, I will be sending the Euro USD trades over to the public Discord. Some people have asked for them, and so I'm like, shit, why not? I'm sending them regardless. So these ones are going to be sent here for Euro USD, and then when I ultimately had set up this system, we have the automated reports of the results for what was February. So you can see we covered 35%. We took 76 trades. 32% win rate, profit factor, all these type of stuff are striked up there. But you can see we end up losing our worst trade, negative 5.2%, whatever. We are just keeping everything in mind. You'll see in the numbers, and something I emphasize quite a lot is that there's a quote along the lines of all trades should end in one of four ways, whether it's small loss, break even, small win, or big win. No chance for big losses. Rule out the chances for those, and the small wins, the break evens, and the small losses, those trades really just balance each other out. Those may be a majority of the trades. Those are the trades that may deter your mind to want to get out of the market, to try to switch up your strategy if people are still doing that, and just it deters you going through the break evens, the losses. You'll see here, so loss streak 10, lost 10 trades in a row. These type of stuff deter people, especially when a lot of the numbers like the win rate is low. That deters people. When the losing streak is higher than the winning streak, that deters people. But something that I can probably get included here in the next one, but it's not included here. We'll see it over in the regular stats, but it's for the average risk to reward that I take on the trades, because that is important as well. Just a while ago, like even if we look at it now, it is 8.3, meaning for every trade that I take, I'm taking an average risk of 1 with a reward of 8.3. This also means that taking 8 losses is equivalent to just about 1 win. 1 win and 8 losses bring me to break even. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me. Hope it makes sense to you. So, where was I? I was over in Discord, keeping my eye on that trade, but we'll get back to it. So this basically gives our top 5 symbols. We took 20 trades on this. We lost 12%, 15% win rate. It doesn't look good there. Some of the other ones are better and stuff like this. Gold ended up coming out for a big winner. And that this is just keeping everyone updated that this is how this channel is going to work. If you want to be able to see these and get access to these, you can obviously just go down below, hit the link, join the initiate package, and you'll have access to not only this, but the 2 PDFs, which are the main function of things. And there is also the indicator. The indicator that I have on my chart here that is plotting all of these out is done well. But we'll take a look at the trades actually in here. So this was the report that got sent this morning for March's results. So we got about 46%, 53 trades this time around. Win rate is a bit higher, whatever. Average duration a bit lower. Profit factor is higher, and there we get our win to loss streak as well. So you just can't get deterred. One thing about me, and every person that knows me will be able to say and agree, I'm highly persistent. I do not sleep, I do not give up, I do not rest. Highly persistent. But just as that might reflect in life, it also just reflects in all different ventures. Same thing to go trading. I say trading is one of those things that really ingrained it in me. The fact that I think Mark Cuban, even though I don't really think Mark Cuban has, like, I don't really look up to him for much, for anything, whatever. But he has a good quote where he's like, it's not about the win rate. He's saying something along the lines, it's not about the win rate. He's like, you can go your entire life losing, right? And then maybe at the age of 70 or something like this, one event happens that makes it all worth it, right? And that is important. That is key information. You can take a majority of losses and then one situation comes through and just makes it all worth it. True. I agree. And trading is not much different from that. Not much different from that. What do I have here? So, this one down here, you can see this says TP alert. So this is going to include all the other ones. I know I just said Euro USD is going to be the only one sent here. So this would be for Euro USDs for the public alerts. And there's none that was sent in March. This is being started from April onwards. So you can just keep that in a little mind. I guess we're hitting a level. Let's see where it says. So it says pound Australian M15. We're just interacting. That last candle just interacted with the 127. So it's basically telling me that we have an opportunity that we could take a trade from. I like the 161 a lot better in this case, but it's all, the reason for the alert is just because we interacted with the area. Every time we interact with one of those, we get an alert. You could obviously turn this off if you want, but it's just, it tells me when I can go to my computer and not have to spend all day there. So over to the main stuff. This was the accidental trade I just opened at 9. And so it averaged out the position that we actually had over on this. Gave me an average, but we'll see where I actually entered the first time. So same report gets sent here. This was the trade. So $1.3216 is where we got in this originally. $1.3216. So just a few pips below, 4 pips below. And that's why the price looks like this, because we have an average. It's a small place average. I had a 40 position, then I added a 0.01 by accident. So, you know what? I guess I didn't. What time was this? 12 yesterday? Yeah, so this was 12 yesterday. That's the time we seen on the sheets for the last update time, which was 12:45, and this is 12:44. Looks like my tablet is going to die. But so this is one of the opportunities. There were some trades, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. That was really good. I seen this setup. Marvelous. Stupendous. We had a basically this is not a good time frame. I think this time frame shows a little better. Same time frame, but green line. These are daily levels. Maybe I can go and show you what it looked like. But I ultimately look to take the trade up to stop loss other side of the zone. Where's the open? So this is open. And then this is my stop loss and my take profit. We have about risk 1 to gain 3 almost, and my risk is 0.18 pips. Sorry, 0.18%. 9 pips stop loss, pretty tight on it there. And we come through with the win. Nonetheless. Let's check out what this looked like. Pretty nice opportunity to short. Should we take this for the stream? I think we're going to take this for the stream. Why not? I'll do target 2 just because I just seen down here we have that daily level. So yeah, this is a good opportunity. I'll take this one too, and we'll see this get shot off into the Discord. We can see it here. Beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. We have a risk of 0.53%, and we're taking a risk to reward of risk 1 for 6.8. Amazing. Nice setup. Risk less to gain more, and the numbers, we'll go through it a little deeper into the actual Google Sheets where everything is recorded. Those will ultimately add up. We're looking for the trade that's going to be the runner. Nice. I got approved already.
On ending.
Nice. That didn't take long. Normally it takes so much longer to go through their process. But yeah, just another setup. We'll look at that as we go through this. What else did we have? So I'm pretty sure, did I already? Yeah, 12.44. This was the original entry. We didn't put a stop loss in. I'm gonna go and do that now. That should have been done. I'm pretty sure. I thought what had occurred was I put it in, and because I did the 0.01 with no stop loss, I think it updated it. I don't even have the slave computer here. But yeah, so this trade worked out pretty nicely. I was trying to look at, does it show what time? We're about at 18:30. And we're about at 18:30. I think we're on the 1 hour time frame. 18:30 yesterday. Yeah, so just about right here. On the negatives, the supports that we had down here came down into this area. Let me see the exact price that we bought at. We bought at so 109.05 essentially. Right around here. We bought that back to the upside. Cleared pretty nice. Cleared pretty nice. Where was the upside? So we had about 109.35, call it. Here we have 110. We went up 109.35. So our target was right around here, that green line-ish area. But price continued up. We're now in a good place to smack in this trade. Not only did we have the liquidity grab, but we also have the consolidation at that area. This is the 1 hour time frame. So each of these, this is like 2, 4, 6, 7 hours of consolidation in there. 7, 8 hours. Not bad. Still likely to have this push down. And then this other one that we're in, I'm pretty sure I set the target for this. I'm pretty sure I distinctly remember setting the target for this right up here. But I guess not. Sometimes what happens is I drag it, and I don't know if it's bad connectivity between the mouse or whatever, but like it cancels mid drag. Unless, like, I don't know. What other setup did we have? So this was USD. Okay, USD. We're in this trade for 10 hours. We closed for a very small, basically break even, 4.6 pips, 0.1%. Manual trade, manual close. And that's this setup that I originally seen, just a rejection off this, already laid into the push upwards. This was a small winner as well. just something for the 10 pips. We had risk 1 for 2.8. This was the setup. Let's see, did this work out? US pound Canadian. Doesn't look bad. Pound Canadian 1 hour. What time was this? This was on the 30th. This was on the 30th at about 17 o'clock. 30th around 17. So we just about neared the bottom before price returned up. Do we have, what are our levels? So 161. So yeah, we probably just came down a little bit down into that daily support level of, what is this? $1.8306. $1.8306 is still there. Yeah, so we didn't even come in that deep. Is that the exact candle? Wait a second. Okay, so we have doji, bullish, bearish, bullish, engulfing. Yeah, no, this was the turnaround. I got out of that trade early for no reason, essentially. Let the analysis speak for itself. I got out of that trade early for no reason. What time did I exit? Because I maybe just exited because of, I don't know, I don't have the reason documented. But here, just around 12 a.m., and I entered the trade around 9 p.m. So I'm in the trade for about 3 hours. But yeah, ultimately closed this trade, and I should have stayed in it, ultimately, because we did go straight up to, what was our target? Our target was right up here at $1.8495. 84.95, where we basically would be now. A few hours ago we would hit. You live and you learn. That would have been a good trade. Risk 1, bro, my brain, I don't know why. I think it was risk 1 for 2.8, no? Yeah. So it would have been minor. We would have made about almost 3%. Maybe we would have had the opportunity to add another position. But nonetheless, these are some of the last trades that we took. And then what is this? This is the weekly. So it gives the weekly update, like I said. So that week prior to all this information, because we're going from most recent to least recent, the week closed negative 2.5% on my account, 37% win rate, and this is just for the week. So you see how those add up, and yeah, so then later after this, the whole month of March got posted. And then here's the trade on gold that we took. I did post this as a clip on this page, so that can be checked out there, or just go to the last stream. Yeah, just about that. Here we have some others. So, and these are basically same good setups. What is the last one? 3%. So yeah, everything gets added up here. But important things to look at, okay? I'm gonna start wrapping this up, but important things to look at. One is understanding the difference between total trades and executed trades. Obviously, like it says pending, or it says canceled, which is referring to the fact that there are some pending orders that were made and some things that I was testing, that 247 gridlock thing that I had. That would go through and set up pending orders, as that is probably the best type of market orders that you can take. And then so ultimately this much got those many trades were taken, and they are manual orders and pending orders, whichever ones got triggered. Everything would be documented here though. Nonetheless, winning trades, we have 38 in total. 70 losing trades. We have a losing rate of 63%. A winning rate of 34%. How disgusting does that seem? But I don't think this is to be sidetracked. This is obviously, let me say, not an account for living, but just an account to track what's happening on this auto trader system, and tracking what would be the results for everyone that joined from the beginning. And then obviously the results of everyone that would be joining, as long as you're also staying connected. It's very important that you stay connected to the server, whether you have a Forex.com or not Forex.com, the Forex VPN thing. But that's important to have, just so your system stays online. Get some type of VPN, VPS, whatever. Break even trades. So this is how much profit we had. This is how much we ultimately lost. Average win, gross profit is $251. Average loss is here. So that's almost what, 90. 90 is 180 plus 90, I think, is 270. So we almost have a full risk. We maybe have a risk 1 to gain 3 ratio here, or almost. Fees paid, percentage after fees. So this is ultimately win rate. Percentage after fees on the original balance is 26%. So 26% in the 3 months. And profit factor is down here. Should have got boosted just a little bit. I guess it's, in retrospect, 1 month doesn't have as much weight as the prior 2 months. But I think the last month should have boosted this up a little. Average risk to reward, like I said, important information. And this is amount of pips that we've gained. Quite good over the 3 months. And best trade. Gold, I will say something that sets this a lot higher. If it wasn't gold, or it's not one of those securities that have a lot of pip range, like it's not 0.0000, but rather it's like dollars we're actually trading with, like gold, whether it's US 30, those type of things, those would ultimately change the pip count because they function a little differently, if that makes sense. I guess you just have to have the experience there to see the pip count is a little different. Like when we make a trade on gold, you can see what the pip count is just for this, just the dollar amount. And so the best trade was this, the worst trade was this, and then we see what the master balance is at. And so you take this minus this, and no, take this minus this, and you will ultimately get what we started at, something around there. So the month, this many trades, this many wins, this many losses, 40% win rate this month. You might think that's not good, whatever people are thinking these days. And $4,000 came out in profit, $17, $18 in fees, and basically returned 47%. The other 2 months before that are quite small, but I will say this. So let's look at, so March was definitely a better month. This is all of March, right? And we had that, no, this current one is not this month. This is March. So we had 3 winning weeks, 1 losing week in March. Prior to that, the other month, we had 3 losing weeks, but we tried to keep these small and contained. If we have to stop trading for the week, we'll stop trading for the week. If like stop limits are hit early on in the week by Wednesday or Tuesday, which is normally not the case. But this is how we ultimately keep everything calculated. You can see the amount of trades, the win rate. So far we have 2 trades. Let's see if I can identify them just so we can see from this week, right? March 30th. That's the beginning of the week. Yeah, because this is the weekend thing. So for trades closed, we have 1, which is a small win. Then we have 2, which is another smallish win. And we have 3, USD CAD. No, this is the close. Okay, so yeah, that's 3, no? Let me go back and double check. I want to make sure this is right. This trade is taken on this day. One, 2, 3. Let's check something. When was the last one? I wonder if it like doesn't have something. Let's see real quick. What date is this? So it only has these 2, AJ and UCAD. But we've seen that there's I said what, pound CAD? No, UCAD. It doesn't have the pound CAD trade for some reason. Doesn't have the pound CAD trade. This was yesterday. Intéressant. But I think I know exactly what that happened. There is an expert advisor ultimately running the whole show, and my assumption is the expert advisor was off while that trade closed, so it was not documented. Normally the expert advisor is always on, but it could have been off during that moment. That's the only explanation I can have for this. but we see the pip count, duration, all these things are tracked, whether it's a win, it's a loss. Yeah. Ultimately, and let's just go back here. So we can add our stop loss in now. Let's go move it here first. Then we're gonna secure a little bit. That's what I was talking about the cancel thing, because I just moved it, but for some reason it doesn't register. So we're gonna be able to see this in the Discord as well, but we're just securing 32 pips, 36 pips. 36 risk locked. And this was stream invite. So yeah, target, we're in this trade for about 22, 23 hours now. We don't have a target in. The target would have been better first, but let's go through and set a target as well, just in case we just have a crazy runner. Should we target that or target the higher resistance? I'll do the first level. I don't really plan to do much with this, and we have 2 days left unless we have some serious movement on this. So whatever. And I think given that we're at the negative 61%, we could potentially see some type of retracement happen in and around these areas. Let's see what these other time frames are doing. Yeah, but we're making our way from the lower support down to the higher resistance at this point. So not only do we get nice support and resistance levels with this indicator, but we also get the Fibonacci plotted on there. Daily support and resistance. How beautiful. Beautiful. Liquidity grab occurred there. I wonder what this looks like. Oh yeah, my thing's on white. Let's my thing's on white. Look at that. It's a little tougher, I'm not gonna lie, given the fact that like you would just have to, like, you can clearly see the liquidity pull, but the chart just doesn't make as much sense unless it's like this. And then the other one, which was AJ, yeah, we'll still just hold this out. Nothing bad with it. We'll just see what it wants to do. And this, yeah, I think we just looked at this. This was what it's looking like now. For some reason, it doesn't have the pound Canadian trade. Interesting. Intéressant. But we'll see what happens after the next update. Maybe it'll update and it will have everything. Let me check one thing. Yeah, other pages are being updated, like actively, because I can see ultimately if for some reason I couldn't access my MT5, I could access it and control it from this Google Sheets in a way. But these are what the numbers look like at the end of the day. We'll go on into next month and we'll see how that month does, what that month looks like, how many trades do we take per week, or whatever. And we'll see what that looks like. But you got to manage the numbers. It's highly important. Manage the numbers. This is doing its thing. Gold is branching up. Gold is branching up. I have too many. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it has something to do with the indicator. I mean, the indicator and the alerts. We had not this. Looking at this move. Yeah, we should be able to continue this up pretty nicely. Have no issues, just ride this out through the rest of the day. And if you do want the fresh update as it occurs, you see as soon as I update something, it's sent over into Discord. Do get in. I ain't gonna be a broken telephone, but there's only a few ways to the top, but there are many ways. So if you could put $9 on your future and actually make a move, learn something, it's the leverage, something you can apply, go to the website, go down below and just check it out. Join the First Degree and get some money in your life. But yeah, we took a nice trade, very nice trade at that daily zone there. We took it at 16 realistically, but I made a mistake and I added an additional thing. We have some profit secured and we'll ultimately ride this out for the rest of the day. I think, how much did we secure? It doesn't show me. It doesn't show me the percentage that I secured. I need to change that. Because I'm pretty sure, I guess, yeah, risk is 0.0. Yeah, I should probably change this. But yeah, this is the setup that we ultimately are in. And we're at a little resistance zone here and the negative 27. I would be a little interested in closing this trade shortly if we consolidate here. Look at that rejection. What do we think, chat? I am probably going to go on to some other tasks that I have here, but I wanted to show you guys the numbers. I think that this is an important perspective that a lot of traders need to wrap their brain around, that you shouldn't, in my opinion at least, you shouldn't aim for a high win rate. This is highly unlikely and highly unprofitable, contrary to how it may seem. Of course everyone wants to win all the time, but is this likely, or should we prepare for the countless and endless losses that we know happen? Try your best to make your losses small and ride out those times for bigger winners. Let your big winners have a chance to grow. But obviously we've seen that I missed even that pound Canadian trade, and it would have turned out to a profit. Those happen. But nonetheless, we keep taking your trades, and we are at least up at this point in time, and we're going to keep running it. 1,000% most definitely. 1,000% most definitely. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. If you found this helpful, do just hit the like button, join the Telegram, do something. But watch this trade. Next stream we'll be back and we'll see what it felt like doing, what happened to our position. I'll leave that drawing on. Maybe we can come back to it on the 5-minute. But we have a nice rejection here as well. Not too bad. Price gave a false rejection, dip a little lower, little liquidity pull of this area, came down to a little lower level. There's just a clean bullish structure. Nothing to get too excited for. I'm not looking for those in particular, but just the extremes of those. If you want to help spot them a little easier, get the Discord. The indicator's there, get it emailed to you. It's on the website. All you gotta do is sign up for free. But I'm not gonna waste any more time.